You've probably seen your fair share of paranormal clips, but have you seen this?
And trust me, that's just the beginning. Today's episode is packed with cryptids and strange phenomena that'll mess with your head.
I'm Steve, this is Classified Captures. Before we get into any of that, take a look at this.
Hey, what is that, bro? Dude, I don't know about a cell phone tower, Monk. Monk?
What do you see when you look at this clip? For many, it looks like a cell tower, which isn't too surprising given the fact that they usually have red dots that appear like what we're seeing in the clip. Pay attention, however. Do you notice anything different? I can't be the only one seeing what looks like waves moving from one point of the red dot to the other, right?
You sure, bro? That is a spaceship.
Also, if you watch carefully, you'll see that it looks like the dots and waves belong to a body that's triangular in nature. That can only mean one thing: we're dealing with a UFO. At least, that's what most in the paranormal community thought when they saw the clip. Some even mentioned that it looked like the TR-3B, which is an experimental craft we covered some episodes ago.
I have never seen anything like that, bro. That thing's like scanning us and uploading us. It's just hovering.
Others shared that they had experienced similar in different locations.
Are you 100% that that's a, Dude, okay. Where do you see this shit? This is wild, dude.
One question everyone was asking is, what is the craft doing where it is? Some felt it was charging in the atmosphere, whereas others thought it was most likely scanning the area. The community hasn't been able to come to a consensus yet. While the debate rages on, there are some who believe this is nothing out of the ordinary. They even mention it could be a drone. But what do you think?
Dude, I have never in my life seen anything do what it's doing. You should come look at my phone. I can't stop this. I've never seen any cell phone tower do what this is doing.
This clip is from Indianapolis, and I can't get behind the story, so I just thought I'd share it with you guys to see what your thoughts are. In this clip, we see a gray giant ball being driven away. At first glance, it looks like something alien, and that's exactly the narrative around the clip. The uploader stated that it fell from the sky and somehow missed everyone and every property in the area. After the authorities were notified, they came around and wheeled it away. Personally, something like that wouldn't surprise me, but the clip, well, I doubt they'd want anyone to notice they were carrying something sensitive. If the story is to be believed, I believe they would have been more discreet in transporting something unknown and alien. That makes it harder for me to believe this is authentic. That's just me, though. There are some in our team that think this is legit. But share your thoughts. What do you do when you notice someone's watching you, even though you didn't register for the Neighborhood Watch program? Well, Alicia, the one behind this video, decided it was best to record it, and she did. The clip you're watching is something she recorded, and we see what looks like a lady or something along that line staring at her from the top of a roof. I use the word lady to refer to her being a female, but I feel that the thing is the furthest thing from a lady. It may be a paranormal being. That's the hypothesis many went with. She had long black hair and is dressed in black. We don't see any facial features, and that's what alarmed Alicia. Can any of you help her out with this mystery? Do you have any idea what it might be? Just in case you're wondering who you have on your screen, that's allegedly Ernesto, the former mayor in Salvador who was prosecuted for not seeing some financial obligations through. After he'd been incarcerated, he was interviewed on live television, and everything you're seeing currently is from the interview. I'm sure we all see the lady behind him, right? I'm sure most of you think she's oddly dressed, and you wouldn't be wrong. The thing, however, is the mayor was supposed to be alone. there's not supposed to be anyone there, which is why he himself seemed confused when he noticed. We're not sure how things ended, but many individuals online who saw the clip think it's a paranormal being, say, a ghost. Others think it may be something more sinister, perhaps someone is out to get him and hurt him. We have no way to verify the events in the video or even double-check to see if it all is well with Mr. Ernesto. If the facts in this video are, however, accurate, then it's a scary reality for anyone to have to deal with.
If you scare easy, this shit made my stomach drop. So once again, I could have gone my whole life without y'all telling me there's something behind me in every single one of my videos.
This lady on your screen is doing a TikTok, and after she'd uploaded the clip online, people kept telling her that there was someone in the clip with her. But knowing she was alone, well, it didn't bother her that much. Now, after the comments had become too many to ignore, she started paying attention to her content. She even took a screenshot of one of her posts and started to edit and brighten the dark corners of the screenshot. After she played around with the settings a bit, she came across this. That's not normal. That's not supposed to be there. She's supposed to be recording alone, yet somehow this thing or being or person is in it with her. She's not exactly sure what she's dealing with. Some in the community think it's a ghost, while others feel it's some lost spirit. There are also a few others who think the TikToker is doing this for attention and to just grow her page. You've seen the clip, so what's your gut telling you? Moving on from that, we move to Italy, specifically the Garden of Nympha. Now, at first glance, this looks like an ordinary security cam footage. A few seconds into the clip, however, we notice something strange, a translucent being. This being appears to be crawling. It's more along the lines of a military crawl. The thing about this military crawl is he doesn't appear to have his lower body at all. After the clip was uploaded, it naturally went viral. Some think it's a real person, whereas others insist it must be a spirit. Those who believe it's a spirit argue their way out by saying there's no way anyone would be conscious or be able to move when the lower part of their body is cut off. To be honest, that sounds logical, but ghosts and spirits usually have the body parts they lost in spiritual forms. This makes this capture an interesting one. The debates are still ongoing, but what do you guys think? This next one is more or less the exact opposite of the clip we just watched. At first glance, this looks like a normal photograph, but the kind of photo you'd expect from tourists as it captures the beautiful landscape. A careful look at the background, however, and you notice something. That's what looks like a humanoid being with long legs and arms walking. I'm definitely not the only one who's seen this and thinks it looks like the gray alien. The zoomed-out quality is bad, but that's exactly what I see looking at this. When the original poster shared this, many stated he'd captured an image of a gray alien, and this to many made this image a rare one. A few members of the community were, however, skeptical. They felt this was too good to be true. They also felt a gray alien would have known where there were people in the area and not risked exposure. I don't know, but I agree with their take. Some also feel the uploader did this just to go viral. The opinions are many out there, but one thing we don't have currently is your opinion on this subject. And you've seen the clip now, so what do you think? The next story is a bit of a wild one. It was shared by a lady called Rachel. According to her, she was on her way home when she came to a stop. Being the responsible person that she was, well, she stopped for a bit. While parked, her eye caught something a bit strange. There was a black hooded figure to her right sitting in thin air. She couldn't believe her eyes and decided to look around a few more times. And she confirmed it. She was not hallucinating. It was actually there. Scared, she drove off and went straight home. And while home, she decided to Google and find any information on the hooded figure. The moment she does that, a gray pop-up box covers her screen with the message that reads, "You have been spotted." That sent shivers down her spine. She then recorded a video where she told her entire experience. Perhaps she was hopeful it would serve as evidence should something happen to her. Her video got the paranormal community talking, and they concluded death had taken an interest in her. Some felt it was something more sinister, maybe along the lines of a special government project and the government taking a special interest in her. Others felt she was lying for attention. But what do you personally think is going on?
See what this thing is, so he got a little scared. I got a little scared, mind you, because hello, like, not only is this thing weird, but as I'm trying to figure out what it is, something literally tells me that I've been spotted.
No one loves to lose a loved one, but sometimes it's inevitable. The little girl in this clip had to face that heartbreak far too early. She lost her mother at such a young age. As she and her aunt were about to leave the cemetery, something truly strange happened. The girl paused at the grave, looked up, and gently waved as if someone invisible was standing there. Then softly she said goodbye. Her aunt, standing just a few feet away, was baffled. There was no one else around. The cemetery was completely empty. But the girl was not done. She stepped right on her mother's grave, raised herself up slightly as if reaching for a kiss, then pointed towards something no one else could see. She smiled, said goodbye again, and calmly walked away like everything was perfectly normal. So what did she see? Who was she waving to? Could it really have been her mother's spirit, or was it something else entirely? Many in the community think it's a mother's spirit. Others felt there might be a demonic spirit trying to take advantage of the girl's need for a connection. A few others also asked the aunt to stop taking her to the cemetery. There are many opinions and people are divided. Personally, I have an opinion, but it's you I'd love to hear from. Let us know what you think.
What are you waving at, Leah?
Bye, kids. Bye-bye. Yeah. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye. Oh, what's that?
Next, we got another one of those clips recorded by individuals traveling on dark and lonely roads. The clip is being reviewed by those in the vehicle because they thought they saw something while in transit and hoped their dash cam captured it. Surely enough, it did. But it didn't explain what they were looking at. According to them, while driving on that dark path, which they've used 1,000 times prior, they noticed a creature with long arms entering the house on your screen. They slowed down, hoping they'd capture it, but it was gone before they got there. The weird thing, however, is the gate was not disturbed, yet the creature had somehow gone into the house without touching the gates, even though it moved in that direction. This confused and scared them, which led to the review of the dash cam footage. After they couldn't explain what they were seeing, they shared the clip online, hoping the community could help. As usual, there were many opinions. Not everyone bought the creature's perspective. Some think it's an ordinary woman who was scared into the house by the approaching strangers and managed to lock herself in. Others don't think so. They think it might be a cryptid belonging to the area. But what do you think?
มันก็ไปปุ๊บพอไปปุ๊บแฟร์เนี่ยแล้วแขนมันยาวเห็นป่ะแขนมันยาวมากเลย
เพิ่งเข้าไปเลยอ่ะแต่ว่าไม่มีการเปิดประตูเลย
อ๋อมันเข้าไปในนี้นี่ใช่
Speaking of strange and ghost-like beings entering spaces, take a look at this. Now this looks like one of the clips we shared a year or two ago, and strangely enough, it happened in the same area. This clip was recorded on the night of February the 22nd, 2016 at exactly 1:02 a.m. A man was riding his motorcycle home alone down a quiet road. Everything seemed normal until it wasn't. Out of nowhere, a pale woman dressed in white appeared directly in his path. No warning, no sound. Just a sudden figure in the middle of the road, and just as quickly she vanished into thin air. Shaken, the man brought his motorcycle to a halt, trying to make sense of what he'd seen. Maybe it was a trick of the light, or just exhaustion playing games with his mind. But before he could process it, she returned. This time, she stood right in front of him, clearer, closer, and undeniably real. Well, that was enough. In a panic, he ditched his bike and fled on foot, screaming for help. Villagers nearby heard his cries and ran to the scene. They found him alive but rattled beyond recognition. Physically, he was unharmed, but something within him had shifted. For the next 3 months, his mental state spiraled. He hardly spoke. His eyes stared wide and distant, as if he was staring at something the rest of the world could see. Was it a wandering spirit, a jinn, a witch, or something much darker that still lingered in the area to this day? We can't tell, but the fact that this is becoming a recurring theme is a cause for concern.
Now, you guys all know that I ride motorcycles. If that had happened to me and I'd seen a djinn or a witch at the side of the road or right in front of me, I can tell you something now. I wouldn't be leaving my bike behind.
This clip was allegedly shared on Canadian news media, and it's got the community talking. In the clip, we see an alleged UFO morph from one state to another. It's been dubbed the shape-shifting UFO, and the paranormal community is going crazy. The final shape of the UFO also looks like an angel, which has some wondering. Are all UFOs like this? Is there a reason they take an angel form? Also, are all the sightings of celestial beings we've shared up to this point simply UFOs? Lots of questions, but unfortunately, all we've got is limited footage with no real person who can give us answers. Oh well. So this clip has been going viral for a while now, and there are many theories flying around. Some think the deer is possessed, a few others think the one filming might have hit it and started filming to feign innocence. As these debates go on, a few of us know what's really going on, and if our hypothesis is accurate, this deer is just living in its final moments on Earth. Anyone who is a subscriber here most definitely knows what the diagnosis is. We've spoken about it a number of times. So let's see the OGs here. Type Cam13 in the comments and tell us what the diagnosis is. We'll pin the best comments so all the new people here can have an idea. All the best. Now, we all know Gen Zs have been doing the most lately and seem to be the center of attention everywhere. But has anyone taken a good look at the millennials? These clips show them jumping around and partying like they're still in their early 20s. The only problem, they're not 20 or 18. Some creators from that generation recently admitted that they're starting to worry about their peers. They said that as millennials, they've begun to notice how deeply their generation has identified with youth and how that's becoming a problem. What made sense at 22 just doesn't seem to sit the same way at 39. They acknowledge that their cohort prioritized careers above nearly everything else, family, children, and even spirituality, and now many are desperately trying to recapture something they're afraid that they lost or maybe never had to begin with. According to them, the parties they now attend are sober, which they find cool, but even then, something felt off, like it was all coming from a place of quiet desperation. They reflected that life can't always be a party. At some point, it demands stillness, sacrifice, and meaning rooted in service to others, not just in chasing what looks like something good on Instagram. In their words, some of the most meaningful moments in life aren't filmed, and maybe, just maybe, that's where the real value lies. At first glance, this image might look like a strange web from an artistic creation, but it's actually a simplified representation of one of the most essential systems in your body, the nervous system. Though it may look intricate and lifelike, what you're looking at is not an actual nervous system, but a crafted artifact meant to represent one. This model was designed to help us understand the invisible yet essential network that runs throughout the human body. It illustrates how the brain, spinal cord, and a web of peripheral nerves are organized, giving us a clearer picture of how our bodies transmit signals, control movement, and process information. This isn't the first time that we're showing you something like this, but we had to bring it back to correct some misconceptions. There are some sharing this and calling it an alien entity, and some even suggesting it's a cryptid. It's not. It's educational material, okay? So let's move on in the next clip.
P.S. Julius made me do this after he blackmailed me. Don't tell him I told you, okay?
Do spirits work out? Before you say no, take a look at this clip. In the first few seconds of the clip, nothing happens, but as time goes on, it becomes evident that something translucent is jogging through the place. For many, this is a ghost jogging through the neighborhood. To others, this only looks like this because of the quality of the security footage and time of the day it was recorded. But you've seen the clip now, so what's your hypothesis? Now, we've discussed glitches in the Matrix several times, and this clip looks like one of those. I mean, how else do you explain a helicopter in the sky without its blades spinning? Most individuals in the paranormal community don't think this needs any explanation, since, according to them, it's the real deal. There are also others who think there's a logical explanation for this. If you've been watching this channel, then you know who we call when we need logical explanations. Yeah, Julius. When Julius came, he gave a profound explanation. According to him, the frame rate of the camera and the speed of the helicopter blades was simply out of sync. The blades are spinning rapidly, but the camera captures each frame at just the right moment when the blades return to nearly the same position. This creates a bizarre optical illusion known as the wagon wheel effect, where the blades appear to stand still or move slowly, even backward, when in reality, they're slicing through the air at high speed. So no glitch in the Matrix here, just a perfect storm of physics and camera timing. Unless, of course, that's exactly what they want us to think, and by they, I mean those in charge of our simulation. So while watching this show, I noticed something. The individuals sitting on the left have their fingers crossed in a weird way. At first, I thought nothing of it, but the more I watched the video, the more I realized it couldn't be a coincidence. I just couldn't put my finger on what was wrong, though. Get it? Finger, because we're talking about... Alright, never mind me. Back to the clip. So after watching the clip for a while, I went to the Paranormal Society groups and found it in one. Looks like others who noticed it too. One person shared an insight that might explain everything. According to him, it's actually a clear indication that they disagree with and reject what the guest is saying. He claimed the gesture is well known within their so-called satanic circles. In his words, they aren't even trying to hide it anymore. They're doing it right in front of our eyes on giant screens and sometimes even behind the scenes. He ended by saying, "Have a wonderful day or evening," almost as a sarcastic farewell after making such a bold claim. I mean, we could have laughed it off, but people sided with him. Some referenced the fact that Liam died shortly after this. To them, this was proof that Liam was saying things he was not meant to say. Either way, this is a bold claim, so what do you guys think? So, this clip was uploaded on one of our platforms and many were praising it. They called it one of the clearest UFO encounters in a while. Personally, I must say it does have a bit of realism to it, even though it's doing too much. Some members of my team were debating its authenticity when I walked in on them. After watching the clip, I shook my head like Julius does and pointed to the bottom left corner of the screen. Can any of you mention what I pointed out? If you said the VEO watermark or logo, you'd be right. Not sure how they missed it, but it's a testament to how good Google VEO has become. Looks like we have to get creative with identifying authentic footage, else we might be in trouble. So yeah, this isn't authentic. It's AI generated.
Did you see that?
I know it looks bizarre, but no, this isn't a scene from Predator. What you're seeing is actual thermal footage recorded inside a child's room. The person holding the heat cam can be seen adjusting it at the start of the clip, probably checking for something. But what exactly were they looking for? As the footage rolls, everything seems still until you notice it. Just near the corner of the room, behind a tall pile of toys or furniture, something peeks out. Humanoid, tall, too still to be normal. Now here's the creepy part. This room was supposed to be empty aside from the person filming. No reports of break-ins and no one else was home. So who or what was that figure? Some think it might have been a prank or even a glitch in the heat cam, but others have started connecting dots. Stories about kids talking to individuals who they think are invisible friends, pets acting scared near the corner, and sudden cold spots in the room. Some see a ghost behind this, whereas others think it's a demonic entity. If you were the paranormal investigator behind something like this, what would be your hypothesis? We've all seen our fair share of strange illusions and odd visuals, but this one is on an entirely other level. At first, it just looks like any other tall tree standing in dense forest. The camera pans upwards, revealing a massive trunk. But then, as the camera slowly tilts downward, you see the base of the tree. It's not there. The trunk isn't even touching the ground. It's just floating midair like nothing connecting it to the earth. Some people who've seen this footage suggest it could be some kind of camera trick, but others are leaning into something far more mysterious, like a vortex or dimensional anomaly. Perhaps the roots are stuck in another dimension. What do you think? This footage comes from a restaurant somewhere in Asia. Customers were eating and chatting until something strange caught everyone's attention. One by one, people started looking up at the ceiling, and when the camera finally pans up, we see why. There's a vent on the ceiling, just a small open space, but behind it, you can see movement. Something big is shifting around up there, pressed right against the inside of the ceiling. Through the vent opening, you can clearly make out what looks like long, scaly skin sliding by. Then these clawed limbs appear as they move along. Whatever this thing is, it's huge and definitely not your average rodent or pest crawling around in the rafters. And here's where the debate begins. Some believe it's a reptile but not a snake. The body is too wide for that. Others suggest it could be an alligator, which seems wild considering, well, how can an alligator even get up onto the roof of a restaurant? Then there are those who think it might be a Komodo dragon somehow finding its way into the ceiling crawl space. Just imagine eating your dinner when that thing quietly creeps by you. We've all heard about the glowing orb phenomenon, strange balls of light showing up in forests, fields, and even homes. Most people write them off as spirits, orbs, maybe plasma energy, or even signs of something paranormal. But every once in a while, something shows up that doesn't quite fit any of the usual descriptions. This particular footage was captured by someone right in their own backyard. The camera shows a glowing orb silently flying over the fence and into the property. It looks like your typical ball of light. But when it gets closer to the camera, you can actually see that it's not just made of light. Behind the glow, there's a solid object, a dark, spherical shape. It doesn't match what we expect from plasma balls or so-called ghost orbs. Those usually appear as just pure light, sometimes flickering or floating, but rarely revealing any solid structure. So could this have been a drone, or maybe some sort of experimental device? If you thought those were sticks in someone's palms, well, think again. What you're actually seeing are moths. They're called buff-tip moths, and their camouflage is honestly incredible. Their wings are shaped and patterned to mimic broken branches so perfectly that, unless you knew what you were looking for, you'd walk right past them without even noticing. The way their wings fold tightly against their bodies with the grayish-brown coloring and the subtle details along the edge makes them nearly indistinguishable from real wood. This is one of nature's best examples of disguise that keeps them safe from predators while they rest during the day. So next time you're out in nature, take a second look at those sticks sitting quietly on the leaves. You might just be looking at a moth or something else. A woman was cleaning out her pool filter when she discovered something caught in the mesh. It was this tiny creature. It had wings, small arms and legs, shaped almost like a miniature human, and even what appeared to be a tiny tail. At first, you might think it's just a toy or some elaborate prank, but the closer you look, the more unsettling it becomes. The wings aren't plastic-looking, the limbs have details to them, and there's organic texture to its body. That's hard to explain away as man-made. But some say it's just a discarded figurine. Others, especially those who believe in the old folklore, believe this is a fairy or something like them that really exists, just hiding from us all along. Mythical creatures might call them myths for a reason, but this is definitely questionable.
You see it's got legs and arms and a pair of wings and looks like a tail.
Sometimes it's not the big UFO sightings or the mysterious creatures that get you, it's the small moments that leave you questioning everything. This next one is one of those strange little incidents. One night, a man was out in an open field when he witnessed this. Out of nowhere, a cloud of glowing dust-like particles drifted down from the sky. It shimmered softly as it floated toward the ground, almost like glittering mist, or dare I say it, pixie dust. As soon as it touched the grass, it simply dissolved, fading away into nothing. There was no sound, no obvious source, and no explanation. It just appeared and vanished just as quickly. Some say it might be related to UFOs, possibly some kind of alien technology or atmospheric phenomenon we don't fully understand, while others think it could have been some rare natural occurrence or even something intentionally dropped from above. Whatever it was, it certainly left a lasting impression. It's one thing to hear about glowing orbs or strange lights in the sky, but when you see something like this right in front of you, it makes you realize how much we still don't know about what's happening just above our heads. We've seen strange lights in the sky before, but this next sighting out of Turkey feels different. This footage was captured in Turkey on June the 15th, 2025. In the night sky, two large, bright orange objects appeared. What's more unsettling is that they seem to be facing each other as if in some sort of standoff or interaction. Now, these weren't just faint glimmers or distant stars. They were much larger, clearly visible even to the naked eye, and way too big to be mistaken for stars or satellites. And obviously, it wasn't just the sun either, and the shape wasn't even close to the sun's typical glow. Instead, these two objects almost felt like discs lit up with intense orange light. This has led many to question if they're crafts. Could this have been some kind of UFO encounter happening right above us, or maybe something else entirely? The strange part is that they just stayed there still. We may never know exactly what the floating was over Turkey that night, but it's another reminder that the skies might be far busier than we realize. You've probably stood by a waterfall at some point, staring at that endless stream of water crashing down and where all that water actually comes from. When you really think about it, waterfalls often appear deep in remote forests surrounded by trees, rocks, and hills, far away from any oceans or major lakes. If the water isn't being pumped from the sea, and it's definitely not, then how does it constantly pour down like this? It's a mystery that's fascinated people for centuries. Some believe the answer might lie in something far more unusual than we realize. There have been reports of certain trees around the world that seem to gush water from their trunks for years without ever drying up. Scientists have documented a few of these rare water trees in various places, but no one fully understands how they work or why they produce water. Now, some theorists have taken this idea even further, suggesting that perhaps waterfalls, especially those deep in the untouched wilderness, could actually be fed by underground networks of these strange water-producing trees. Instead of relying purely on rainfall or mountain springs, they speculate that nature may have hidden systems where trees themselves play a role in feeding rivers and waterfalls.
Of course, it's just a theory, but it does seem probable, don't you think?
Every once in a while, a story surfaces that really makes you pause and question just how much we don't know. This one is definitely one of those. A man has come forward claiming that his body is literally changing. He says he's slowly transforming and he's got some unsettling footage to back up his claims. First, there's his eyes. You can clearly see what looks like vertical slits forming in his pupils. Then there's his elbows, which now has this large unnatural lump bulging from it. The same goes for his thumb. His body is mutating right in front of him. Honestly, it's pretty disturbing to look at. This man is reportedly in the military. For those familiar with the deep conspiracies, this lines up with some of the theories. One popular idea suggests that secret government programs are experimenting with genetic modifications, possibly to create a new breed of super soldier. According to these theories, this man may have unknowingly become part of such a program, and what we are seeing is his body starting to shift into something non-human. Some even believe he's turning into a type of reptilian hybrid. These skeptics say that this could just be a hoax. With the right prosthetics, effects, and some clever video editing, anyone could fake something like this, and yet, there's always that little part of your mind that's stuck on the what-ifs. So is this a secret genetic experiment or just another hoax feeding into the reptilian conspiracies?
What you're about to hear is real. My name, it's not too important. The information that I'm about to tell you is extremely important. I was an intelligence specialist with the United States Navy. Since then, if you watch my other videos, strange things have started to happen to my body. If you remember, my eye has started to get more of a slit in a reptilian, or I guess snake eye appearance. If you look at my other videos, or what I'm adding right here, you can actually see up close what my eye looks like.
Someone managed to capture this bizarre creature on film while out at sea. What we are looking at is a massive, fast-moving animal. Its body almost has a flattened, fleshy appearance, and sticking out from the sides of its head are these strange, horn-like structures. The creature moves through the water with surprising speed, and judging by its size and build, it's not like anything we've commonly recognized out there. It doesn't resemble any of the typical large fish or known marine animals. In fact, there's something almost prehistoric about it. Of course, the internet quickly exploded with theories. Some are calling it a sea monster, possibly an undiscovered species lurking in the deep. Others suggest it could be a mutated giant fish, or maybe even some type of rare squid or eel. But honestly, even seasoned marine experts are scratching their heads on this one. So what the hell are we looking at here? You know, sometimes people just can't resist touching things they're not supposed to, especially in museums. But this time, one tourist curiosity came with a pretty hefty price tag. A tourist was visiting a museum when he came across this unusual art piece. It was a chair entirely covered in Swarovski crystals. Now, this wasn't just any chair. The artist created it as a tribute to one of Vincent van Gogh's works, and it was reportedly valued at around $50,000. For some reason, the man thought it would be fun to sit on it, but as soon as he sat down, the chair couldn't handle the weight. It cracked under the pressure, damaging the expensive piece. The museum later released security footage of the moment, and of course, the internet jumped all over it. People were quick to criticize the tourist for being careless, but interestingly, the museum was able to fully restore the piece and return it to display not long after. Now, some people are questioning whether the whole thing was actually a happy accident for the museum. Was it just a way to generate buzz and get more attention? After all, when you strip it down, it's really just a chair covered in crystals. At the end of the day, where do we draw the line between true art and something designed just to grab attention? Space never fails to surprise us. Just when you think you've seen it all, something strange shows up right next to one of the planets. Recently, while observing Saturn through a telescope, someone managed to capture footage of a bizarre round object positioned unusually close to the planet. It almost looks like some massive, perfectly shaped sphere hanging near Saturn's rings, and considering the scale and distance involved, whatever this is must be enormous. And this has got people buzzing. What exactly are we looking at here? Is it some kind of unidentified object hovering near the planet? Could it even be artificial? The theories as always started to pile up quickly. But then again, let's not forget that Saturn has a lot going on around it already. In fact, as of current records, Saturn has about 274 moons orbiting it. So it's entirely possible that what we are seeing is simply one of its many natural satellites crossing in a view, caught at just the right angle to make it look mysterious. So it could just be a moon, but, well, maybe not. Who knows these days, right? Recently, Japan unveiled something that's left a lot of people stunned. A full-sized Gundam-style robot called the Arcax. This isn't just simple display piece or remote-controlled model. This thing is massive, standing at 4.4 meters tall, and it actually works. The pilot climbs inside, sits down, and controls the entire machine using joysticks. This machine is a jaw-dropping $3 million, but when you look at what it is, well, you kind of get why. The engineering, the design, the sheer scale of it makes it feel like we've officially entered the era of real-life mechs. Now, while this is being shown mostly as a demonstration of technology and design, well, what now? Could we one day see giant robots walking around, or is this just a very expensive, very cool toy? Either way, Japan just took us one step closer to living in a sci-fi world. While on a family stroll, a man and his family discover something interesting. It's a peculiar rock structure that's shut tighter than a treasure chest should be. He suspects it could be a secret government facility or one that leads to aliens. Now, I'm not one to jump to conclusions, but this is giving strange, weird, and suspicious vibes. It's like the beach's version of Fort Knox, but made of rocks. The big question is, what on earth could be tucked away inside? That, I guess, we'd never find out.
to the ground again. What if this is a freaking government secret door or there's aliens behind it? I don't know, you tell me. Bye.
Before you watch the next clip, could you please hit the like button, subscribe, and even drop a comment if you haven't already? It goes a long way to make it possible to create more videos for you. Thank you for doing so. Moving back to the day's episode. Now that's a deer party you don't see every day. So you wake up one fine morning, stroll into your garage, and boom, you've got an audience of about 30 or more deer just chilling and giving you the deer in the headlights look. Talk about an overwhelming wake-up call. I mean, where did they all come from, and why are they just hanging out in the garage and staring at the guy like they own the place? And get this, the guy's not bothered in the slightest and just goes out to feed them. Is he running a deer spa in his garage, or does he just throw some snacks out regularly? Maybe they've got a deal. Who knows? This image was taken in North Queensland, Australia. According to the witness, while walking through the bush, he spotted a strange-looking creature standing silently in the bushes staring back at him. He described the creature as not very big, but smaller than a human and covered in dark fur. The witness had never seen anything like it before. Fortunately, he was able to quickly snap a picture before the creature took off. The image is now being examined by experts to determine what the creature could be. While it's uncertain, some have speculated that it could be an Australian yowie, a mythical creature similar to Bigfoot that's said to haunt the Australian wilderness. Others believe it could be a previously unknown species of animal. At this point, no one knows for sure what the creature in the image is, but what do you think though? A yowie or something else entirely? Share your thoughts in the comments section. What do you think this is? The individual who sent it believed he'd run into a creature of the night, but after careful scrutiny... Wait, actually, no, there was no careful scrutiny here, just scrutiny. So after some scrutiny by me, I realized it was nothing but an owl. I mean, you guys can see it too, right? Wouldn't it have been funny if I made a whole section about a monster that was nothing more than an owl? Next, we have a curious case from downtown Flint, Michigan. Take a look. The footage was sent in by a man who was more excited than he was knowledgeable about what he'd discovered. Nestled in the tree on your screen is a hard structure that looks like a stone with markings from ancient times. But from what we can tell based on the footage, the stone is buried deep in the ground as far as the roots go, and maybe deeper. The man claims this tree has been around for possibly 200 years or more. If that's true, how on earth did this thing end up inside the tree? Could it be a structure, perhaps from an ancient civilization, mysteriously embedded in the tree's core? It's hard to say, but my money is on that as the potential outcome. A woman and her kids decided to take a breather in the woods and just have some fun. But imagine the terror of the woman when she spotted a huge creature among the trees. The creature had dark fur and bulging muscled arms. It was stalking the woman and her kids. The frightened woman called out for her kids to get inside. The creature, when it realized that it had been spotted, dashed off. It looked like a Bigfoot, but its head had this peculiar look that did not tally with our image of a Bigfoot. Its arms were also abnormally large and muscular. Yes, Bigfoot has large arms, but not like that. So what's the deal here? Is this Bigfoot's gym buddy or just another creature adding a dash of mystery to the woods? Not knowing what she was dealing with, this mom was not taking any chances as she made everyone move back into the vehicle. I'm no prophet, but I can bet that she and her kids won't be making plans for a woodland picnic anytime soon. Take a look at what this underwater camera captured. It it's not just the lights falling from the intriguing sky, there's something massive lurking beneath the surface. This creature captured on the camera isn't your typical whale or shark. It bears a striking resemblance to prehistoric fish. It's as if a creature from the depths of time has resurfaced, adding another layer of mystery to the already perplexing events unfolding before us. What do you make of this unexpected discovery? Now, what do we have here? A fisherman went to sea, and among the usual catch, he found this translucent, insect-like creature wriggling in his net. Its strange appearance captivates those who see it, sparking curiosity and speculation. What could this creature be, and where did it come from? Some suggest it might be an extraterrestrial visitor from distant planets. Others propose it could be a new species yet to be identified. You have seen it too now, so what do you think? Technology and AI are advancing so fast that it is almost terrifying. Just take a look at this display in Vegas. The footage was taken by a passenger on a plane. He was filming what you see on your screen. You can see that the display starts with a round thing, and then as the image changes, we see a bottle image from it, and move upwards, it looks almost real, like a giant bottle, but it's fake. It's cool, sure, but it's also a tad bit terrifying, not because it's dangerous, but because it's unreal what we can do with technology these days. The scary part is that AI is basically involved in a lot of things of late and has become like that overachiever student acing every subject. So what are your thoughts on this? Is this really in Vegas? If it is, have you seen it? If you haven't, do you find it cool? Tell us in the comments. On that note, if you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed to the channel yet, please do so now before I send that creature after you. On a more serious note, it really helps out a ton and gives us the opportunity to keep making these videos for you. So please do so and share this video with your friends and family. Thank you very much. Yes, these are actual Trailcam captures. Somehow the owner of this trail capture got lucky enough to capture not one, but two different Bigfoots near his campsite. According to him, he'd set it up so he could confirm once and for all if the rumors that Bigfoots live near their home were true. And boy, did he find out about their existence in grand style. I mean, it's either that or people found out what he was doing and decided to troll him. Looking at the capture, however, I'm tempted to believe that this is real. What about you? Unlike the Baltic Sea anomaly, a groundbreaking discovery in space exploration has left the scientific community excited and thrilled because it's been confirmed to be of extraterrestrial origin. Harvard physicist Professor Avi Loeb and his team claim to have found material from outside our solar system for the first time. This remarkable achievement came from the interstellar expedition of June 2023, where metallic fragments were retrieved from the Pacific Ocean near Papua New Guinea. These metallic spheres, which were recovered from the ocean floor, have compositions unlike any known natural or man-made alloys. According to experts, these fragments may have come from space, which could revolutionize our understanding of the universe. This discovery is a significant milestone in the field of space exploration and opens up new possibilities for research and exploration. It provides exciting insights into the mysteries of space and the potential existence of extraterrestrial objects. The scientific community is optimistic that this discovery will lead to further exploration and research into the unknown aspects of our universe. The odd thing about the discovery is the fact that the professor suspects or thinks that whatever was discovered could be technological, which hints at intelligent life elsewhere in our universe. He's not 100% sure though, but he states that it's tougher than space rocks. Many in the scientific community are skeptical about the discovery, but no professor will put their reputation and pedigree on the line if they didn't think there was something there. Either way, it looks like we may have to wait for further investigations to come to a conclusion on this one. What does your gut tell you, though? During a recent excursion in Puerto Rico, a group of tourists visited the Isabella River. As they were sailing on the boat, Isabella, one of the tourists, noticed something unusual on the water's surface. She quickly pulled out her camera and started filming. Upon closer inspection, she saw a clear outline of a human-like creature under the water. The creature was moving at an exceptionally fast speed, much faster than any human could swim, and chased after their boat. The group was amazed and couldn't believe what they were seeing. They watched the creature for a while, and it stayed under the water for a considerable amount of time. It was evident that the creature was not human, given the way it moved and the amount of time it spent under the water. The group couldn't help but share this, and it's very obvious what we are looking at here. It has to be a mermaid, siren, or some other type of mythical humanoid. There's no logical explanation for what this is. At least, that's what a section of the community thinks. What about you? What do you think? A truck driver went to work one morning just like every other time to go about his usual routine. But guess his surprise when he went to his truck and opened the door. The wheels of the truck were moving violently and the gear moving up and down. The truck was not moving or even ignited, so what in the world could be going on here? It's like the truck's got a mind of its own. But last time I checked, trucks don't come equipped with brains, right? I'm no expert, but I'm pretty sure trucks don't do this. So what's the deal here? Is it some kind of auto-gymnastic routine, or maybe the ghost of a truck's past owner taking the wheel for a spin? I guess we may never know. Well, look at this mysterious bundle of joy. We've got a creature on our hands, and it's not exactly winning any beauty contests now, is it? After all, it's a hideous-looking creature that has the appearance of a baby. It also has very pale skin with razor-sharp teeth, spotting a strange smile that says, "I will eat you for dinner." Now, I don't know about you, but I'm seriously questioning who or what decided to create this little bundle of nightmares. Was it Mother Nature being sinister, or did some mad scientists decide to hit the create creepy baby button in their secret lab? Share your thoughts. The possibility of life beyond Earth has always been an intriguing topic for many people. For years, scientists have used state-of-the-art equipment to search for signs of extraterrestrial life. Despite their efforts, there has been no definite proof that life forms exist, at least not one that has been made public yet. Recently, this video emerged and it sparked a new wave of interest in the possibility of life beyond Earth. The footage shows several crafts that appear to be floating above the moon's surface. These crafts have unique shapes and seem to be moving in the same direction. Now that's curious. What is the purpose of these crafts? Are they manned or unmanned? What kind of technology do they use? One of the commenters on the original post shared an interesting tale. He states that his father, who'd never believed in aliens, saw a ship through a telescope and was shocked. After what he saw, his dad became a believer. Now, there's no way of verifying this particular story, but there have been similar stories coming from all over the globe. Take a look at some of these comments. All these comments have to mean something. This video footage could be the proof that we have been looking for all along. It could be the evidence that definitely proves the existence of alien life beyond our planet. Despite the evidence, many believe it has to be false. They rationalize saying that what we are seeing was nothing more than ticks on a dirty lens. Some even suggested that they were ants. You've seen the clip and heard both sides, so what do you think is much closer to the truth? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Still on strange things in our sky, we've got this clip featuring a strange-looking cloud hovering in the sky a little too close to the ground compared to the rest of the clouds. Much weirder, this particular cloud was darker and had some peculiar object sticking out of it. Anyone who was observant would obviously realize that this was definitely a cloud with something in it, or something using a cloud as cover. Much like the last Avatar scene where Anne uses a cloud as camouflage to hide the gang in Appa, I digressed. As humorous as that sounds, I was not the only one thinking about it. Many in the comments section thought so too. They said that the cloud was camouflage, hiding something that was cloaked behind aerogel. For those unfamiliar with it, aerogel is a unique material that's known for its extremely low density and highly porous structure. It's sometimes referred to as frozen smoke or solid air because of its translucent appearance and lightweight nature. In essence, it can look like this strange cloud. The substance is, however, quite rare, which will make having this amount quite strange. This has led to speculations that this could belong to one of two groups, the government or aliens. I know it sounds like a bit of a stretch, but do you have any other possible explanation for this? If you do, please share in the comments section. We love to read your hypothesis. While at a lake, a group of kids came across a huge fish lying lifeless in the water. While I don't understand why the little boy is in the water with it, one can't help but think that lifeless creature does look like a shark with razor-sharp teeth. It is hard to identify the exact kind of fish it is because its skin appears to have already started decomposing. It is too small to be a whale and too big to be a dolphin. So what could this be? Share your thoughts. This footage has been circulating the internet for quite a while now, but every time I watch it, it just gives me anxiety. In the footage, we have a group of daredevils living life on the edge, deciding to turn the famous Monticello Dam into their own personal swimming pool. These guys are having a grand old time frolicking in the water. Like they're on vacation when one guy takes a not-so-graceful slip and down he goes into the glory hole. Now, the glory hole is not there for a casual dip, it's to control the water released to and from the dam. I don't know why these guys decided to take a bath there because it's very dangerous. Maybe next time they'll stick to safer waters like a regular pool or, anywhere that's not a dam with a name like glory hole. Many stories have circulated about people who have allegedly captured footage of skinwalkers, but this particular video is especially intriguing. It shows a skinwalker during a transformation. The incident took place in the Skinwalker Ranch, where the person was walking through a deserted area when they stumbled upon a strange-looking creature perched on the rocks. At first glance, it seemed like a crouched human, but as the person kept filming, they noticed that the creature was transforming into a cat-like being. The transformation appeared to start from the feet and move up to the head. As the creature continued to transform, it became more apparent that this was a dark-colored panther. Once the transformation was complete, the panther jumped over the rocks and walked off into the wilderness. It was an eerie sight to behold, and the person recording the video was visibly shaken by the experience. This type of behavior is typical of skinwalkers, which are believed to be shapeshifters who can transform into any animal they desire. What are your thoughts on this intriguing and mysterious encounter? Another day, another UFO sighting, but this time with a twist. Witnesses report an unconventional craft hovering in the sky resembling an acorn. While saucers and octopus-shaped UFOs often dominate the reports, this sighting introduces a new and intriguing variation to the mix. The peculiar shape of the craft sparks a wave of speculation and intrigue among enthusiasts and skeptics alike. Could this unconventional design hint at a new wave of extraterrestrial technology, or is there a more earthly explanation waiting to be uncovered? Julius calls it fake, but what do you guys also think? Back in 2022, this image was circulating on the internet from the US. With little info on where the image came from, determining what this creature is has been nothing but a hustle. In the picture, we can see a dog-furred creature walking in a river. The creature was roughly about 7 feet tall and bipedal. Experts who came across the photo have examined it thoroughly and have tried to come up with a logical explanation as to what this is. But as far as we can see, this clearly looks like a Bigfoot. No bear or monkey has a posture like this. If you think otherwise, share your thoughts with us in the comments section. A group of men found this strange-looking creature that looked like a snake with 4 limbs. Critically inspecting it, one can tell that it's indeed very strange and unlike any reptile we've ever seen. It's what someone would describe as a hybrid of a snake and a lizard. Its long neck is crooked, but unlike your typical snake, this thing doesn't go all out with the tongue action. It keeps it classy, tongue firmly in its mouth. You can't really tell if this creature is legit chill and just vibing with the guys. It could also be scared out of its wits because, well, let's be real, imagine being discovered by a bunch of dudes. You could be giving them the side eye too, right? An observer from a distance saw a group of bulls dashing in front of the woodlands in Alberta, Canada. While watching the herd, the observer noticed something else walking by. As they looked closer, they realized that it was a massive, furry creature with broad shoulders and a coned head. The creature's size and description fit the description of a Bigfoot, a legendary ape-like creature that's believed to inhabit remote forests and mountainous regions across North America. This video footage of UFOs flying over the surface of the moon was captured via telescope on Earth. The video shows multiple unidentified flying objects appearing to fly in formation over the moon's surface. All the objects have different shapes and sizes which don't match the tech that we have here on Earth. This has sparked a lot of debate among people who are interested in extraterrestrial life. Some people believe that these objects are proof of the existence of aliens on the moon, while skeptics believe that they are simply satellites or debris in space. There have been age-old conspiracies about the existence of aliens on the moon, and this video has reignited discussions about them. Some people have suggested that there might be a secret base on the moon that's being used by aliens, while others think that these objects might be evidence of secret government operations. They may be simply debris or satellites, but it's also possible that there's something else entirely. What do you think? I know you're waiting for the next clip, but my new friend Bigfoot asked me to ask you if you have liked and subscribed, and if you haven't, please do so now. Thank you. Next, we visit the borders of the Kentucky Islands for some strange and quite frankly spooky vocalizations. Imagine hearing this while chilling in your cozy island abode or sipping sweet tea or whatever islanders do. There's no way you'd recover from it. I don't know about you, but they sound like howls and barks combined that are echoing throughout the woodlands. We did some further analysis on the audio and realized that they don't sound like any animal we know. The vocalizations, however, hint at a very large creature. Given the fact that the area is known to have Bigfoot sightings, we don't have to go too far to guess what we could be dealing with, do we? Ah, the classic mysterious lights in the night sky scenario. You gotta love those. So a Facebook user spots this curious sight. Not one, not two, but 4 enigmatic lights just doing their thing in the night sky. It's like someone threw a handful of glow sticks into the night sky and called it a day. They looked like they belonged to some kind of spacecraft. It also looked like all 4 lights did not belong to one craft, but 4 separate crafts. Who could they belong to, though? Alien visitors? Is the military practicing some secret maneuvers, or maybe just some unusually coordinated sky lanterns having a night out? It's hard to say, but you're allowed an opinion. What do you think? I wish I could tell you those were the only strange things happening in our sky, but it gets stranger. Our next clip was captured in Ukraine, and it has left many people scratching their heads. In the video, a whitish-looking sheet-like object can be seen hovering in the sky with its top part bent forward. The atmosphere in the video appears to be quite foggy, which adds to the mysterious nature of the sighting. At first sight, many assume that the strange things going on in the sky might be some sort of weather anomaly or unusual cloud formation. For those on the ground, that would have made sense, but those on the higher planes or buildings like the one recording saw what was really happening. They saw what you see on your screen. Spooked, they uploaded it and then sent some of the paranormal communities into a frenzy. Many had differing views on what could be going on. Some viewers speculated that the object was a blue beam projection, while others suggested that it was simply a mark on a glass window from which the footage was recorded. Interestingly, one viewer even used the alien emoji, implying that they thought the object was of extraterrestrial origin. Given the unusual appearance of the object and the varied opinions surrounding it, it's difficult to say with certainty what the footage shows. It would, however, be unwise to downplay any of the comments, since they are basically possible until proven otherwise. Unless, of course, the clip is fake, but that too has to be proven. Recently, this video was circulating on social media, and it shows strange glowing creatures floating in the sky with a luminous trail behind them. Some people are wondering if these creatures are angels, while others are skeptical and suggest that the video may be a clever hoax created using CGI. Angels are celestial beings that have been part of various religious and mythological traditions for centuries. They're often depicted as messengers or intermediaries between the divine realm and humanity, tasked with guiding and protecting people on their spiritual journeys. In the Christian faith, angels are believed to be God's messengers, while in the Islamic faith, angels are considered to be created from light and serve as intermediaries between Allah and humanity. The concept of angels is prevalent in many cultures worldwide, including Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Zoroastrianism, and others. Each culture has its own beliefs and interpretations of angels, such as the number of angels that exist or their specific roles in the divine hierarchy. What do you think of them, especially those in the clip? Are there horned men in existence? Well, if you answered no, our next footage might surprise you. Take a look. Imagine a well-built guy rocking what looks like a legit horn sticking out of his noggin, all while donning a snazzy skirt made of dried leaves. Talk about a fashion statement. See what I did there? I sounded young and hip. Kudos to myself. Now you're probably thinking, wait, can humans even grow horns? That's a valid question by all standards. Sadly, it's one of varied and contradicting responses. I mean, well, it's not natural, but that doesn't make it impossible. We literally have a man on our screens who appears to have. Maybe this guy is a different species altogether, or perhaps Mother Nature decided to spice things up and give him an upgrade. As much as I want to roll out the wild theories, there's also the possibility that it might be a cultural thing. Some places around the globe are known for unique body modifications. Perhaps this is a modification that's done among his people. But since we cannot verify that, we're left to speculate and theorize. What's your theory? We're back in British Columbia again. This footage was sent in by a man who went fishing only to come across some tracks around a riverside. The soft soil on the ground had molded on it 3 perfect tracks. There were several of the footprints around, which were much bigger than his size 10 feet. The prints were about 15 or more inches and were pretty deep in the ground. Now, this fisherman's no stranger to these prints. He's been spotting them regularly and believes that Bigfoot lives around there. Now that you've seen them yourself, what do you think? This clip comes from Sequoia Park, California. It shows another strange sky phenomenon.
Is it a cross? Heck no, it's not a cross. What is that? Like a... Whoa. Let me see it. Dude, it looks like a dude in a suit. It looks like Iron Man.
At first glance, it appears to be some kind of glowing figure floating in the air. The entity seems to have a head, arms, and legs, and it's surrounded by a distinct and noticeable glow. The people behind the camera who filmed the video were convinced that they'd witnessed a superhuman or an alien. However, when the video was posted online, some commenters suggested that it might be a hologram, and the term blue beam projection was mentioned once again. It's difficult to determine what exactly is happening in the video and whether it's real or a hoax. The possibility of a hologram or a government conspiracy cannot be ruled out, but as always, there's little evidence to suggest that's the case. The only thing we can do now is speculate and hypothesize on what this might be. You have seen the clip. What's your hypothesis?
What the heck? Jonathan, what in the world? Probably the super.
Look behind you. Insane. Whoa, did you see that just shoot across? Did anyone else?
This next clip is proof of that. I mean, how much of a coincidence can it really be when a similar phenomenon was experienced in another part of the world not too long after it had been seen in Korea? A man was filming the stunning coastal scenery when he witnessed the extraordinary event. Unlike Korea, however, there appeared to be lightning in the sky. While many were distracted by it, a bright object suddenly appeared and streaked across the sky with immense speed almost without being seen. If the man behind the camera was not filming, it may have been missed. It's not clear why this was bright and the Korean one was dark. To add to the mystery, the exact location of the sighting is not known. Comments flooded in on the post from intrigued viewers with their theories about the object. Some suggested it could be the Air Force, but upon closer inspection, it didn't seem to be a human-made object. I mean, there was not much to inspect, but when did we started traveling at light speeds with ships made up of light? Exactly. Another theory was that it was a missile, but missiles tend to have a visible trail of fire behind them, whereas this object was all bright like a luminous entity or something else entirely. Also, I don't think missiles affect the atmosphere like this one did. The possibilities of what this object could be are endless. Many still hold on to the fact that it could be something of extraterrestrial origin, while others think, that's just loony. They don't see anything beyond a weather phenomenon here. But what about you? What do you see?
มาฝั่งนี้สิลูกมือหลวงพ่อใหญ่จะได้ถูก
This man lived to the age of 109 and passed away in 2022. He was known as Luang Fo Yai, a revered monk. In his old age, he was bedridden, as you can see in the footage, with his frail body and the outline of his bones visible beneath his skin. Despite his physical condition, he seemed remarkably lively, interacting warmly with his grandchildren and great-grandchildren who were running around his bed. Luang Fo Yai's life and legacy as a monk are profound. Even in his advanced age, bedridden and fragile, his spirit remained vibrant. This video captures a touching scene of a man who, despite his weakened state, is full of life and joy, especially in the presence of his family. Do tell me something, though. Would you want to live this long?
ม
What's going on with the weather? As of July 24th, 4 major disasters were hitting different parts of the world at the same time, showing just how serious things have become. In the USA, Oregon is grappling with severe wildfires, which have been exacerbated by prolonged drought and high temperatures. These fires are consuming vast areas of land, destroying homes and causing evacuations. In Italy, severe hailstorms have struck, causing significant damage. These hailstorms are not only a hazard to people and property, but also affecting agriculture, with crops being damaged or destroyed. India is experiencing severe floods, particularly in regions that have been hit by relentless monsoon rains. These floods have caused rivers to overflow, leading to widespread inundation of towns and villages. In Kenya, heavy rains and strong winds have resulted in severe flooding. The torrential rains have overwhelmed drainage systems, leading to waterlogging and destruction of homes and roads. The high winds have compounded the situation, causing additional damage and making the conditions more hazardous. These simultaneous weather-related catastrophes underscore the increasing frequency and intensity of extreme weather events globally. Climate change is playing a significant role in these events, as rising global temperatures contribute to more severe and unpredictable weather patterns. This video of a mysterious craft flying over Miami has caused some confusion and controversy. The footage was captured by an eyewitness who believed they had witnessed an unidentified flying object. However, others soon came forward to suggest that the craft in question was a military stealth bomber. It's not hard to see why the eyewitness might have been confused. The craft in question is sleek and black and moves with remarkable speed and agility. It's the kind of vehicle that looks like it could come from another planet. However, closer inspection reveals that it's a military aircraft. Despite the clarification, the sighting has caused some concern among locals. Miami has been on edge since an alleged alien sighting a few months ago, and many people are worried that this latest sighting might be evidence of a more sinister phenomenon. What do you think?
It was like using the force on a cursor.
Now let's talk about scientific interventions. Meet the first patient to undergo the groundbreaking Starlink brain transplant, a procedure that seems to be yielding promising results thus far.
Playing chess, and so this is one of the things that y'all have enabled me to do, something that I wasn't able to really do much the last few years, especially not like this.
Reports indicate that the patient's cognitive abilities have shown marked improvement, as evidenced by his adeptness at playing chess on the computer, an accomplishment he previously struggled to achieve. This early success raises intriguing questions about the potential enhancements in intelligence and cognitive function that may accompany the completion of the procedure. What do you think about the whole thing, and would you get one if you had the chance to?
Perfect. I would say that we have run into some issues. I don't want people to think that it is like this is the end of the journey. There's still a lot of work to be done, but it has already changed my life.
Here's the biggest thing I've got. This is from an 18-foot person, estimated. Big toe bone, there it is.
That is this far?
Yeah, your very end big toe bone. It's been x-rayed, and this person had broke their toe bone, and then it healed up.
Now, this video was taken at a facility or perhaps a different kind of place, I'm not entirely sure. But what's certain is that these people have safely kept skeletal remains they believe to belong to giants. The first specimen they show is the big toe bone of what they estimate to be a 19-foot tall person. Just look at that. It's enormous, giving us a glimpse of the sheer size of these supposed giants. The scale of this bone is astonishing. Next, they display the bones of a little finger. The woman in the video explains that they visited a village in Turkey believed to be the burial site of Noah's wife. Noah, for those unfamiliar, is the biblical character known for building an ark to survive the great floods, a story well known among the Christians. In the grave, They retrieved 3 sets of bones, and upon review by experts, it was determined that these bones assembled to form a small finger. Look at how large this finger bone is. It's even longer than the woman's entire palm. This discovery raises fascinating questions about our history and the stories passed down through generations. If these bones indeed belong to giants, they could provide physical evidence supporting ancient texts and myths that speak of such beings.
A human finger with a touch of arthritis. And this is the finger. This is this part of the finger. See, it's this, and this.
I really need your help with this one. I was cooking some spinach and one of the leaves just started inflating, and I'm not sure if that's supposed to happen. It kind of looks like plastic. Can somebody tell me what that is?
What is going on with our food? There are several clips of people finding odd-looking items that they bought. Here we have a clip of a man who was cooking spinach when this happened. The vegetable began to swell. This is not normal spinach behavior. In another incident, someone bought an avocado, and when it was sliced, this is what they found. The avocado was plastic. The person even twisted the slice, and still it had this plastic look. It did not smash, but twisted like plastic. Here we have another one. A woman bought chicken breast from the store, and while she was preparing one piece, she noticed shards of glass in the chicken. Another person bought cheese, and this is what happened. Instead of the cheese melting onto the fire, it became harder. What is all this? The food manufacturing companies, what is going on with their products? From rubber fruits and vegetables to glass in the chicken, these incidents raise serious concerns about food safety and the integrity of our food supply.
One of the leaves just started inflating, and I'm not sure if that's supposed to happen. It kind of looks like plastic. Can somebody tell me what that is?
While flying, a pilot captured this video of an unusual flying object. The object had a saucer-like shape and was rotating while moving in the sky. What made it even more intriguing was the inscription on it, Truff. At first, the pilot thought it said Trump, but upon closer inspection, it was clear that it was Truff. Curiosity piqued, the pilot decided to research the word truff and found out that it was a branch of hot sauce. The connection between hot sauce and UFOs may seem absurd, but it could be that extraterrestrial beings like spicy food. I know it's a bit of a stretch, but think about it. What's not to love about hot sauce? Alternatively, it could be an entirely different explanation altogether. I mean, what are the odds that aliens speak and write English? Perhaps it's some markings in their language that we interpreted as ours. It's also possible that the video was a well-made CGI, although it's hard to be sure without further investigation. Regardless of the explanation, this sighting has left the pilot and the wider community wondering about the mysteries of the universe and the possibility of life beyond our planet. If you followed our channel judiciously in the last week or so, then you would be familiar with our recent discussions on extraterrestrial life and the possibility of their existence. While many are quick to dismiss the idea, the vastness of the universe and all that's within it makes it possible for life to exist elsewhere other than ours. I recently came across this footage captured in China on April the 9th, 2024, which I found quite intriguing. In the clip, there is a peculiar circular shape in the sky with luminous edges. The object appears to be hovering in the air like a disk. While it's true that some clouds, such as lenticular clouds, can look unique, this particular one seems to be more than just a cloud formation. It has a distinct shape that looks eerily similar to a UFO. There are a number of individuals in the comments section who noticed this as well and were convinced we're dealing with a UFO whose camouflage was not working properly. Looking at it, I can see why they think that. Not only does it have an unconventional shape, it's also ginormous. This makes it fit into our whole alien spaceship category. While many were convinced we were looking at a ship, there was another group of individuals who were very convinced that this had to be a portal. While the portal hypothesis isn't impossible, the individual who posted the footage never saw anything come out of or go inside. The skies have been home to many unusual incidents over the years, and it's not uncommon for people to speculate about what they see. However, with more and more sightings being documented, it's clear that there's something strange happening up there. Wouldn't you agree? A man was driving home one night when he saw something ahead of him in the sky. It was a dark figure floating ominously. The figure didn't look human, just an odd shape of a dark entity suspended in the air. It had an almost translucent look, adding to its eerie appearance. The scared man drove slowly beneath the entity, trying to make sense of what he was seeing, and then hurried home as fast as he could. In situations like this, Juliets would likely dismiss it as just a cloth tied up there, but there was no indication of wires or anything holding it up. Plus, it wasn't swaying like a cloth would in the wind. Aaron, on the other hand, believes this is some kind of entity. The strange appearance and the way it floated without any visible means of support make it hard to explain away as something mundane. What do you think? Would you believe me if I told you I watched this clip at least a dozen times before penning down my thoughts on it? I mean, when you start to watch the clip, the creature in it looks like a dog, but as soon as you zoom in, you aren't sure what you're looking at. It appears to be half dog, half human. Aaron, on seeing this clip, shouted, "Skinwalker!" Looking at the clip now, I understand why he would think that, but is it really a skinwalker though? Julius, our science whiz, thinks not. He believes this is nothing more than a mangy cat. To support his argument, he points out that the cat is the only blurred thing in the footage and everything else is clear. He adds that if it was really a skinwalker, the clip wouldn't have been digitally manipulated to make the object of interest blur. As always, Julius sounds logical, but Aaron thinks the skinwalkers may have some sort of superpower that makes them invisible to cameras, hence the blurry nature of the creature. We don't call Aaron our conspiracy theorist for nothing. Now, having heard both sides, they want me to accept one, but thought I'd leave it up to you guys. What do you think? As we ponder the possibility of alien life, let's explore the supernatural realm. Ghosts, the spirits of departed humans, have been thought to be part of human existence for centuries, often hiding from our sight but occasionally revealing themselves. They're said to be the remnants of those who have not yet found peace and continue to linger around the living realm. Various pieces of evidence have been presented to support their existence, such as footage of dark apparitions crossing roads and appearing in surveillance camera, feeding dogs. These entities resemble humans in many ways, but their intangibility distinguishes them from the living. They can appear and disappear at will and can pass through solid objects such as walls or cars without any resistance. While they're believed to be humans who have passed on, what if there is more to these entities than we currently understand? What if they're not just remnants of the departed souls, but rather something else entirely? There have been theories that suggest that ghosts could be a manifestation of energy or a projection of our consciousness. Things get even weirder with this next clip taken in Asia. We're not told where exactly, but a strange fleet of lights was seen in the night sky. The lights were arranged in a unique formation and moved in synchronization. Usually, these formations are mostly seen with migrating birds, but it's highly unlikely that this was the case here. Birds don't emit any light, which would make it difficult for them to create a spectacular display in the dark. Despite this, many in the comments section believed that they had to be birds. Logically speaking, that's very unlikely unless there are some bioluminescent birds out there that glow in the dark. Oddly enough, many held onto the idea. There were some, however, who believed that the whole thing was simply blue beam tech being tested by our government. If you've followed the channel for a while, we've mentioned it several times. Although there's no definitive proof of its existence, many in the paranormal community believe that there's a powerful machine out there that's capable of creating illusions in the atmosphere. This, they believe, belongs to the government for the purposes of misinformation and control. The hologram projections from this machine are allegedly so powerful and incredibly realistic and can take on any form. They can be used to create an illusion of something that's not there. This could be very convincing. Despite the skepticism surrounding the product, the possibility of this being a product of blue beam technology cannot be ruled out. However, others believe that the display could be a result of drone activity. The question remains, though, why so many drones for a single display? Also, if it was a drone display, surely we would have found some information on it, but try as we may, we found nothing. Unless, of course, we're looking in the wrong places. This fish was spotted in Albania after a heavy snowstorm when the ground was all iced up. Despite the freezing conditions, the fish was very much alive and not frozen to death. What makes this sight even more bizarre was that the fish was upright, standing on its pelvic fin. Now, I don't know what's going on here, but the person who took this footage insists that the fish was walking. Fish walking? That's certainly a new one. Seeing a fish moving around on land, especially in such cold weather, raises a lot of questions. How could it survive the icy conditions, and how was it able to move? Fish are aquatic creatures, not designed to walk on land, especially on their fins. Experts and curious onlookers have been scratching their heads over this one. Some speculate that certain fish, like the mud skipper, can move on land using their pectoral fins, but those are typically found in warmer climates, not in the icy conditions of Albania. Others suggest that the fish might have been displaced by the storm and somehow managed to survive out of water. However, its ability to remain alive and move around in such harsh conditions is still a mystery. Could this be a new adaptation or an undiscovered behavior of the species? Share your thoughts. No, I can't move to the next clip without mentioning Julius thinks it's edited footage. Of course. Now the world is so caught up in technology that when anything goes wrong, like power outages or software crashes, everyone starts to panic because we have everything saved on the internet. Recently, there was a significant crash in the cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike's software. This happened right after an update was made to the system, leading to a lot of problems for institutions that rely on CrowdStrike. Some believe that the crash was deliberately orchestrated, while others insist it was not. The truth is, we're still uncertain about the exact cause. Nonetheless, the crash was very scary. The impact was immediate and widespread. Companies and organizations that depend on CrowdStrike for their cybersecurity found themselves vulnerable. There were reports of data breaches, system malfunctions, and an overall sense of chaos as IT departments scrambled to mitigate the damage. Imagine the panic in a world where so much of our personal, professional, and financial information is stored online. A crash like this can disrupt businesses, halt financial transactions, and even compromise sensitive data. The fear of such vulnerabilities highlights how dependent we have become on these technologies and the companies that manage them. CrowdStrike, known for its cutting-edge cybersecurity solutions, suddenly found itself in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. If you think you've seen it all, just take a look at this. This creature was seen on the water's surface. An observer zoomed in to capture the moment, and you notice that this creature looks strange. Could it be a sneaky eel, smoothly moving through the water, or perhaps a dangerous sea snake gliding with deadly accuracy? Well, no one can say for sure, but Julius says it's definitely CGI generated. What do you guys think? In a calm river, something extraordinary happens. A man steps into the water and effortlessly glides forward, moving with remarkable speed and grace. Can I even call it gliding? It's almost as though he was hovering and just levitating through the water. How can this man move so smoothly through the water? It feels like driving a knife through butter. It's like he's being pushed by an invisible force, effortlessly cutting through the water with each graceful movement. Is he some kind of hybrid creature, part human, part fish, a mix of two creatures? Who knows? We've handled strange and bizarre creatures, but none have ever looked like this. The first thing that came to mind when I saw it was Spider-Man in the black Venom suit, but that's fiction. This is allegedly real life. After a few seconds, I see the rest of the creature, at least half of it, and I must say it's not at all what I expected. It looks like an ant, and at the same time, well, it doesn't. I wanted to believe this is real, but something about it just screams AI. Do you hear it too, or am I just being a skeptic? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. In South Africa, there is a remarkable feature known as the footprint of God, a giant footprint embedded in granite. The footprint is incredibly well defined. It clearly shows the shape of the toes, the arch, and the heel, making it look strikingly similar to a human foot but on an enormous scale. The sheer size of the footprint suggests that if it belonged to a human-like creature, the creature would have been many times larger than any known human. Geologists have dated the granite in which the footprint is embedded to be millions of years old. It implies that the print was made long before humans are thought to have existed on Earth. Does this confirm the myths and legends from various cultures around the world that speak of giant beings? Well, it's hard to say, but these stories might have roots in real historical events or creatures. What do you think? This next video could potentially offend some paranormal enthusiasts, but it does make some valid points. It features suspected Bigfoot footage that was released and debunked by a man. The creature in the footage looks strange and was reported to be a Bigfoot, but it looks nothing like your typical Bigfoot. The man used some sort of facial comparison technique to analyze the creature's facial features and proportions. The results showed that they didn't match those of a Bigfoot. Another thing that stood out was the way the creature blinked. It looked totally unnatural and not at all like how primates move their eyelids. The man concluded that the creature in the footage was animatronic, but that doesn't necessarily mean that every Bigfoot sighting is fake. Or, well, what do you think? So we received another perplexing footage. Take a look at it yourself. What do you see when you look at this? Well, the individual who sent this in believes he's captured none other than the legendary T-Rex. As much as I love dinosaurs, there's no way that's a T-Rex. Even if we can get over the size difference and how unstriking the supposed resemblance is, you have to agree that the movement is not one you would associate with a T-Rex. But then again, you see the clip too, don't you? What do you make of it? A man was walking through a hallway when he thought he saw something, so he stopped at a corner and started filming. At the far end of the hallway, there was just a wall with a picture frame hanging on it. When you look at the frame, you can see a dark shadow reflected in it. But there was no one else there. It could be a trick of the light or maybe even someone outside the camera's view, but then explain this. As he kept recording, a dark shadow suddenly appeared on the side of the wall. The shape was humanoid and it moved unnaturally. That's when the man freaked out and bolted out of there. Now the real question is the shadow in the frame connected to the one on the wall, or is there something even more disturbing happening here?
Look. Did you see it?
This woman got into an elevator and headed to the ground floor. As she rode down, the elevator passed the ground floor and kept going downward. As you can see, the woman looks very panicked. She tries to get help on her phone, but nothing works. Finally, the elevator stops and the doors open into a dark, unknown place. We can't see much since the camera is in the corner of the elevator, but the woman walks out slowly. As soon as she steps out, the elevator closes and goes back up, leaving her stranded in the darkness. Honestly, I don't know why the woman got off. The place looks so dark and eerie. I would have stayed inside. But then again, this could just be staged footage. But this footage reminds me of the odd legend. Have you heard of the 13th floor urban legend of elevators? It's said that some buildings have secret, inaccessible floors where hidden and unthinkable things happen, unknown to the people who come and go. Could this be the case in this footage, or do you think it's just a hoax? Information circulating reveals that Bill Gates could be using dolls to spy on people, including you. How, you ask? Meet the Kayla dolls. These dolls were popular and many parents rushed to get them for their kids back in 2017. After a few months, however, the German government banned the dolls and asked parents to destroy them. A complaint was also filed in the US against the company that made the dolls, Genesis Toys. To use the doll, the children provided personal details like their names, ages, parents' names, favorite toys, where they lived, and what have you. Although this should have raised some flags, it wasn't until it was discovered that the dolls were actually recording audio and transmitting it to a speech recognition software owned by the Nuance Communications. This company has contracts with the military and owns the largest voice print database in the world. The company has been sued several times for privacy violations, yet somehow Microsoft decided to acquire the organization. This has got some industry experts worried, and I must admit I get why they're worried. I know it's the Christmas season and there are discounts flying around, but please make sure you do your due diligence before buying anything. The last thing you want to do is get a toy that will allow people like Bill Gates to spy on your family. This is meant to be a creepy video of two strange beings in the woods. It's allegedly captured by a Trailcam, and when Julius saw it, let's just say he was the least bit amused. He felt this was a poor attempt to fake the real thing because the individuals involved in the clip looked like they were acting. Others, on the other hand, see a cryptid attacking an individual. Personally, I'm tempted to go with Julius on this one, but you've seen the clip too, so what do you think?
Olha lá, galera. Olha lá, olha lá, olha lá, aquela coisa lá, olha lá. O chupa-cabra lá, olha lá. Ele lá na árvore lá, olhando para nós lá, olha lá.
This next footage was shared by two friends walking home through the woods in northern Mexico when they saw this. It was a pair of glowing eyes staring right back at them. The eyes peeked out from behind a tree, locking onto the friends. They stood there filming for a moment before running away as fast as they could. In the video, you can hear one of them say, "Chupacabra." The chupacabra is a well-known cryptid in Mexico folklore, so understandably, they suspected this creature was one. But when you look closely at the eyes, they seem almost human-like. However, the eyes were very low to the ground, so whatever it was must either be crouching or very small. I don't think a human would be out there in the dark creeping on people like that, but then again, humans can be pretty weird. Could this just be a nocturnal animal? What are your thoughts?
Olha lá, galera. Olha lá, olha lá, olha lá, aquela coisa lá, olha lá. O chupa-cabra lá, olha lá. Ele lá na árvore lá, olhando para nós lá, olha lá. Olha lá. Coisa é aquela, mano. Deixa eu dar um zoom aqui pra galera ver lá. لا لا يا الحبيب لا 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 هد relax لا لا.
What do we have here? It may look like a Pokemon, but it's actually not. It's just a bird. A white feathered bird with a bald neck. And as it turns its face toward the camera, it gives off a very eerie appearance. After digging around, I did confirm that this was actually an owl. But why does it look like this? Well, I'm not particularly sure, but the person who saw this bird thought it might be a witch who had shapeshifted into an owl. And looking at its appearance, I can't help but agree. Its unusual appearance makes it look almost scary. Owls are already known for their creepy looks, which is why many cultures and religions associate them with witches or evil beings, especially since they're nocturnal creatures. However, it seems more likely that this bird lost the feathers on its neck due to something like disease, injury, stress, or even molting. Yeah, some birds do shed their feathers depending on the season, like before spring or in autumn. But for this bird, we don't know for sure what's going on. What do you think happened to it? It's been a while since we accused anything of being AI, but that might change today. Take a look at this. So what do you guys think? It looks like, I just realized I don't have words for what it looks like. Looking at it though, I'm pretty sure it's definitely AI, at least I think it is. The individual who uploaded it thinks it might be Venom, like the movie. I don't think it is though. My money is on AI. What about you? Speaking of spirits and witchcraft, what do you guys think of this? This clip comes from Anchorage, Alaska, and many who've seen it believe the object in question is nothing but a witch. While the object in the clip does fit modern-day descriptions of a witch on a broom, there are some who remain skeptical. They want to believe this is either editing or a wrongly misinterpreted sighting. There were individuals who commented under the post and stated they lived in the same place but never saw anything like this. Others also pointed out it could be a lost balloon belonging to a child. I mean, these points sound logical, but could they be the truth? Let's hear your thoughts on this one. Still on drone pilots, this clip comes from one who was taking a bird's eye view of this castle when something unexpected happened. As the drone flew over the place, it captured something eerie. It was a faint white shadow shaped like a knight moving through the castle. Take a closer look, it's unmistakable. The pilot was shocked when he saw this, but given the castle's history and how long it's been standing, it's not entirely surprising. This is Berkeley Castle, built back in 1153. You can tell its age from the architecture and materials used. It's said to be one of the oldest inhabited castles in England. But it's also the place where King Edward II was killed. I'm sure he's not the only one to have died there. There are likely many spirits stuck there haunting the place. At least that's what many in the community think. What about you? What do you think? Next, we got a young man who was out with his mom in the snowy woods. It was a serene sight until they came across some rather unusual footprints. Once they started looking around, they saw a creature whom it might belong to in the distance. It wasn't just one, but two fur-covered figures moving effortlessly through the snow. From a distance, their forms were covered in brown fur from head to toe, and judging by their size, they had to be at least 7 feet tall or more. Skeptics are saying it's just people in costumes, but look at the way they move. There's something too natural about it. The way they stride through the deep snow without struggle seems almost inhuman. So what do you think? Just a hoax, or could this be real Bigfoot footage?
What's going on now, sir? That son of a bitch is about 6'9", I don't know. Do you see him now, sir? Yes, I'm looking right at him. Uh-oh. Okay, hang on. He's right.
Next, we've got a security cam clip that captured something rather odd and eerie. The camera was installed on a property, but its angle extended over a fence, giving a clear view of the outside. That night, the security guard on duty was left stunned by what appeared on the footage. Moving silently through the frame was a huge humanoid shape. It was a smoke-like entity, the figure crouched low by the fence. Its movements were calculated as if it were trying to hide from something or perhaps someone. What makes this footage so remarkable is how distinct the entity is. It's not a blurry shadow or an easily dismissed trick of the light. You can see its form clearly, almost too clearly. So what is this entity? There are some people who think it's really cool to get up close and personal with animals or to let insects buzz around them, but hey, let's be honest, sometimes a little caution wouldn't hurt. This guy learned out the hard way. While filming himself on his phone, he got a little too comfortable with a bee that was flying near his face. At first, he seemed unfazed, even amused, but then the bee decided to take a detour straight onto his nose. That's when everything went downhill. The guy panicked, immediately dropping his phone as he frantically tried to get the insect out. It's safe to say his up-close natural moment didn't turn out the way he planned. Maybe next time, keep a safe distance or at least watch out for that curious bee. A mother had just put her daughter to bed and was casually watching the baby monitor when she noticed something strange. A little girl was wide awake, just lying in bed when suddenly a shadowy cat-like figure walked across the room. What's even creepier is the camera actually followed its movement as if it recognized something was there. Startled, the mother rushed to her daughter's room to check on her. She asked if there was a cat in the room, but the girl simply said no. The mother left but quickly returned, sensing something was off. This time, she gently asked her daughter if she was okay. That's when the little girl said there was a monster at the window. So to comfort her daughter, the mother checked the window and reassured her that everything was fine, but deep down, she felt uneasy. The family had a pet cat that had recently passed away, so seeing that cat-like shadow on the monitor sent chills down her spine. She replayed the footage over and over again, making sure she wasn't just imagining things, but it was clear that shadow really did resemble a cat. So what do you think? Could the pet have come back to visit the little girl one last time? Or was it something else? This video was taken by a homeowner in Malaysia. She had gone out for a while and returned home to find something strange coming out of a bathroom. It's this long, black, snake-like creature on the floor, but here's the weird part. It had no head, and it's slithering very slowly across the ground. To me, it looks like a giant slug. The homeowner had no idea how it got into her house and was too scared to sleep after the creature had been dealt with. She didn't say how it was dealt with or what they discovered after, but some people are saying this could be a hoax. Looking at the clip, I understand them. Anyway, you've seen the clip yourself, so what do you think this is? Could it be some kind of unknown creature, or is it just a prank gone too far?
Nah, ngiruk nah.
This woman, who is currently pregnant, started hearing strange noises outside her house in the middle of the night. Concerned, she decided to set up a camera and record herself to see if she could figure out what was going on. The footage she captured is deeply unsettling. In this clip, she's suddenly woken up by a disturbing sound coming from outside. The noises are a mix of low animalistic growls, followed by eerie screeching and even howling that doesn't quite sound like any animal she's familiar with. The woman never dared to step outside. Instead, she stayed indoors waiting for the noises to stop. Now here's where it gets even creepier. Some believe these sounds are made by a malevolent creature, once said to mimic noises in order to lure pregnant women out of their homes. The legend goes that it preys on them, harming both the woman and her unborn child. Have you ever heard of such a creature, or has anyone actually encountered something like this?
Nah, ngiruk nah.
¿Verdad? ¿Cómo te asusta, cuidado? ¿Ah? Hey. Mírase sola, mírase por acá, cuidado. ¿Ah?
Two friends were out one night biking through the woods. Both had helmets with GoPro cameras to record their ride. Everything seemed normal until the man riding in the back captured something unsettling. As they rode along the trail, his camera picked up the figure of a person standing quietly by the side of the road. He didn't think much of it at first, casually saying hi to her as he passed. But the moment he went by, something changed. Without fully understanding why, he suddenly felt an overwhelming sense of fear. He then called out to his friend ahead, telling him how unsettled he was about the encounter. They both agreed it was unusual for someone talk less, a young lady to be out in the woods at the same time. Sure, it could just be a random woman out in a trail just like them, but the timing, the stillness, and the immediate wave of fear after the encounter made it hard to not wonder if there wasn't more to it. Could this have been a ghostly encounter, or was it simply an eerie coincidence?
Mira. Toma, te suelta, cuidado. ¿Ah? Hey. Mira si sola, mira si por acá, weón. ¿Ah?
An image taken on Mars back in 2001 has resurfaced, and it's causing quite a stir. It's this square-shaped structure on the surface of Mars. The shape was spotted after zooming it on an image of the planet, and it was found inside a crater. The reason for all the excitement is that many believe perfect geometric shapes like this can't occur naturally, especially with how straight the lines are. The sides of the square are said to measure about 3 kilometers. This has led to speculation that this isn't a natural formation and could have been made by aliens. However, for those who don't know, perfect geometric shapes do exist in nature. For example, there's something called cube pyrite, which forms naturally into perfect cubes. Far be it from me, however, to stop anyone from believing in what could be. So what do you also think? Is this a sign of extraterrestrial activity or just a fascinating natural phenomenon? Everyone wants to smell good, so most people rely on deodorants to stay fresh. But have you ever considered how unhealthy some of these deodorants might be? Most commercial deodorants contain chemicals that seep into our bodies through the skin. These chemicals have been linked to hormonal imbalances, Alzheimer's disease, and even breast cancer, especially in women, since the armpits are so close to the breast tissue. So what's the alternative? We can't just walk around with body odor, right? Interestingly, body odor is a natural pheromone, and while other animals recognize and respond to their own pheromones, humans tend to mask theirs with artificial scents. Maybe it's time to explore healthier alternatives like natural deodorants, essential oils, or even diet-based solutions that help regulate body odor without exposing us to harmful chemicals. What do you think? Would you switch to a natural alternative if it meant avoiding health risks? Is such an alternative even possible?
Jangan bikin nyo kaget, Bang. Yo, kalau yang kaget tuh berlari lagi. Satunya nyo loncat lagi, Pak.
Imagine coming home to see this in your home. That's the exact situation of the family you see in the clip. I don't know what this is, but it appears to have left the family in a real dilemma. What would you have done in their shoes? We don't see the end of the situation, but can any of you tell us what animal this is?
Jangan bikin nyo kaget, Bang. Yo, kalau yang kaget tuh berlari lagi. Satunya nyo loncat lagi, Pak.